Well, new phone. Tried to get to connect to my OBS. I was unsuccessful. So we're gonna do it with the phone anyways. So we have here is a 2019 STI with the G25-550 clone turbo on it. The reason I think that this turbo was created is because the G25-550 and the VF 39, 52, 48, whatever turbos are within a millimeter of each other in almost all dimensions that apply. Say, John. Yeah, dude, it's been years. Good. Toenails too, if you want to check those. Anyway, so the inducer, exducer of both the turbine and the compressor wheels are within a millimeter of the G25-550. So what they did is they got a G25-550 turbine wheel and they milled the about a millimeter off of the turbine wheel itself to fit the contour of the VF, which didn't take very much material. Actually, it was really close. And then they machined the shaft down and got the shaft to be the right profile for the bearing system in the VF. Then they point milled a chunk of aluminum to basically copy the 550, only they made it a millimeter smaller in the inducer and exducer to match the VF. So is it really a 550? No. Is it a knockoff? Not exactly, because they still use the turbine wheel of the G25, and then they made a compressor wheel with the same sort of technology and stuff as the 550. So is it going to flow 550? No, definitely not. But it's a potentially going to be a pretty cool turbo. A lot of reports that I've seen online with this turbo, by a lot, I mean, the only reports I've seen with this turbo, which is like 5, it spools as fast as the stock turbo does, or at least within 102 RPM, and makes like 40 to 60 more wheel. So that's what we're going to find out. But I did something different. I did the 550 kit that you can get on eBay, but then I added a Mamba housing to it, which is a P20 housing, which on the stock turbo has been shown to be good for almost 20 horsepower. So I figured the P20 helps the stock turbo, the P20 is going to help this higher flowing turbo. So the question is, how much lag am I inducing with this larger housing, and then how much power am I picking up on the top end? And is it going to be enough where I might be able to get closer to that 550 number? I don't know. So I've had the engine running now for about an hour and change. Turbo's a fresh turbo. You know, you're not supposed to beat the shit out of fresh turbos. They say the bearings don't like it. So I've been really nice to it for the last hour and a half. I hit boost once, just setting the tack on the dyno, and that's it. So what is this car? This car is a 2019 STI. It's got 1050s, fuel rails, regulator, 4 F2I regulator, Cobb fuel pressure kit, which I prefer to use on every car possible. AM 340. It's got a Grimspeed front mount, stock header, has an external wastegated up pipe, which I wish it didn't have. I would like to see the numbers on the stock, on the housing's internal wastegate. I've seen them on the stock turbo, and like I said, this housing alone picks up almost 20 wheel on the stock turbo, which is really nice. So if things go well, I think that this thing should be making 320, 340 wheel on this dyno. A regular VF makes about 275 to 285 typically. This car does have really big wheels and tires on it, which is also a bummer. Big wheels and tires reduce power output, or measured power indication of the dyno. So, you know, we'll see. But that's it. So that's the background. So what's going on? And let me get I tried to get this phone linked up to OBS. Didn't want to do it. It was definitely not as easy as the Droid Cam OBS software that I had for my other phone. I need to just bring that other phone and use that as my work phone and my Droid Cam phone for this streaming stuff. But right now it's my personal cell phone, and it's an iPhone, and it wasn't linking up to the software correctly. So I gave up, and we're just gonna do it with the camera here and the phone here. So first thing I'm going to do is connect to the ECU. I'm currently in the Access Tuner software. I will show you more of that stuff in a minute. I'm just syncing up. I set the tach on the car. Wastegate duty cycle is supposed to be 0, but I think I forgot to 0 it. So I'm going to 0 it now, or at least double check and see if I zeroed it. Did I 0 it? Nope, I did not. So let me do that. Alright, so it should have a 13-pound spring on it. It's got a Turbosmart wastegate on it. I don't like Turbosmart wastegates, and I'll tell you exactly why I don't like them. Turbosmart wastegates have a nasty habit of losing spring pressure. They also have a nasty habit of only being good at like one boost set point. You get through tuning, and you get it to where it holds that boost level. It does that one level good. But when you have a car like a Subaru with SI drive or other cars with various boost set points, they don't work very well. So I don't like their boost control on them. It takes a lot of manipulating of the wastegate duty cycle to get a good looking boost curve, and it shouldn't. It should be easy. But unfortunately the Turbosmarts are just not very good. And then the springs are like these tiny little springs in there. All right, I had this lecture today with the guys in the shop. They're these little teeny springs, and you compare it to a TiAL spring. TiAL spring is like 10 times as large. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means that tiny little spring is unable to handle as much heat as the TiAL spring. Not only is it a tiny little spring, it's under a lot of tension as a tiny little spring, and they suck up heat. They get soft. They change length. And your wastegate sucks even worse. So I don't like them, but that's what she's got. Unfortunately, she was sold a bunch of parts by a shop that just wanted to sling parts, and they didn't really give her very good advice. So we had to kind of rescue her from a lot of the bad decisions that were made. But you know, it is what it is. Okay, so I'm hoping for some decent boost control. So right now we got 13 pounds of spring in it. 0% wastegate duty cycle. It should make 13 pounds of boost, but it's Turbosmart. So my guess is it's gonna come in at a weird time, and then the boost level is gonna change a bunch, because that's what Turbosmarts do. So, oops, I got select login parameters. Don't want to do that too. AF correction, AF learning. I want those. I want sensor ratio in the front sensor, even though it's irrelevant once you get into boost. I want my exhaust and intake AVCS position. I want those positions to make sure the cams are tracking correctly. I don't need accelerator positioning because I know what I'm doing during the pull, but I'm going to use throttle position at the end anyways. Barometric pressure, I'm going to put that on for now just to verify that the baro sensor is working correctly. No one's done like an air pump delete on it and fucked it up. The air pump's still in it, so hopefully that's good, but I want to make sure that it hasn't been screwed up. Calculated load, of course I want that because I'm going to know where I'm on the fuel map. Commanded loop, or commanded fuel final. I'm running commanded fuel final because that tells me what the ECU is trying to hit for the target AFR in that situation, as well as my dynamic advance multiplier and engine speed. I want the dam in case the dam drops. Sometimes the dam drops without any indication on feedback knock or final knock learned, so I want to make sure that if it's dropping I see it. There's no ethanol in this, so I'll talk about that. I want feedback knock, fine knock learning correction. I want the fuel pressure differential actual. I want to know what the fuel pressure differential actually is across ejectors. Some people use fuel pressure. I don't give a shit about fuel pressure raw. I just want to know that the differential is correct, because that's what the regulator's job is. The regulator's job is maintain the differential, not maintain a pressure, maintain a pressure differential. That's the job of the regulator. I want to monitor that and make sure that that's what it's doing. Ignition timing, of course I want that, right? I'd be a fool not to. Duty cycle, I'm not going to duty cycle. It's got 1050s in it. It's a 550 turbo. It ain't going to exceed on pump gas. It's not exceeding these injectors. I'm not going to bother looking at that for now. If I have some sort of issue or something, maybe, but I don't see it. Intake air temperature. Cobb labeled it pre-turbo, but you know what? That's not pre-turbo. We put one in our charge pipe right before the throttle body. Manifold relative pressure. That's boost. Mass airflow. I want that. This car's got a Cobb SF on it. I'm not going to look at the individual knock thresholds and settings and all that because the car's a stock bottom end. I shouldn't have to touch any of that stuff. If it sees a knock event, it's probably a knock event or it's something rattling, and we'll troubleshoot that if that happens. Roughness. I'm not going to look at roughness. It uses a lot of resources. Roughness monitors suck up a ton of resources from the ECU. Can cause problems, and I'm not anticipating any misfires. If I have any issues, then I'll bring up some misfires. Throttle position, that's the final throttle position for the car. I want that only because if I do a pull and I look and I see throttle position is 80%, then I know that, whoops, I messed something up. So I do want to see where the throttle is actually during the pull. I want my turbo dynamics boost error. I like to look at that one because the boost error tells me how far my boost is from my target map. And so I want that, and I want wastegate duty cycle. Those are the parameters I am going to log for this. On this tune, different tunes require different parameters, but that's what I'm doing. And I got a donation. Thank you very much for the $5. This is buy me a beer. I am not drinking alcohol, which is weird for me to say. I decided that I was gonna, I'm not a religious guy, but for this Lent period, I was gonna just not drink alcohol. 2 reasons. One, my wife and I are working on our health. Her cholesterol is through the roof. The doctor was like, "Holy shit, your cholesterol's high." And she's a good-looking, relatively fit girl, but she's got a genetic thing from her family. She has high cholesterol, and he was like, "Your cholesterol's really, really high." So we have changed our diets, and I figured if I'm gonna do most of it with her. I still eat French fries because I ain't giving up fucking French fries. So I don't do everything that she does, but we're doing that. She's lost like 9 pounds already in the last month and a half, and I'm down to 212 from 225, but I started like 5 months ago. And alcohol makes it all a lot harder, so I'm not drinking. But I did reserve a few days for alcohol, and that is holidays. So my wife's birthday is coming up on Friday. I'm sure I'll need to drink for that. So I will be drinking this weekend. But then that's it. That's the only time I think that's going to happen. So that's good. I sleep better anyways without the alcohol. The carnivore diet. I am not opposed to the carnivore diet. I just know that the cholesterol gets really high if I pound a bunch of red meat. And trust me, I love meat because I got a whole freezer full of a cow. I got a full freezer. I think I just under half a cow in there. But thank you. I will put the $5 to good use. Thank you very much. Someone asked me a question. Let me bring up the chat again. Why does the Cobb regulator overall? No, I didn't say that at all. Definitely not the Cobb regulator. I do not use the Cobb regulator because the Cobb regulator is just a factory super regulator from like an 04 to 06 STI. Definitely not the Cobb regulator above all else. I'll never use that. I don't ever use that. You can, I don't. I use a 4 regulator is what I said. A 4 F2I fuel pressure regulator. And the Cobb fuel pressure sensor kit. The fuel pressure sensor is what feeds the fuel pressure to the ECU so that we can do fuel pressure differential monitoring to correct air-fuel ratio based on incorrect fuel pressure. Any divergence from the target differential pressure results in a divergence of injector flow rate, which therefore means that the air-fuel ratio is going to be off. And I don't want that. I don't want that at all. So the fuel pressure kit, I set compensations in the ECU so that when fuel pressure comes off of the required differential, then the duty cycle is changed and that kind of stuff. into it. I mean, we love eating meat. So, hey, thanks, Lank. Appreciate it. The thing is that we were kind of on the carnivore diet already. And her cholesterol was like 270 or something high. Alright, I'm going to do a wastegate boost level pull here. Let me open the windows a little bit so you get some audio. I got to tell the dyno I want to do a pull first. I still had it in calibration mode. Alright, it's a little loud though, so I'm not going to go all the way down. My window ears! Alright. Surprise, surprise! Boost went really high. Color me surprised. How's it going?
What?
How's it going?
Oh, it's going.
Well, the car hit 30 pounds of boost on the new turbo.
Did it blow up?
I don't know, but it's not supposed to do that.
So it smells bad.
It's a brand new turbo and exhaust and intercooler and everything else.
So you need like Lane or somebody?
I have all the boost.
Huh?
I have all the boost.
Cool.
30 pounds.
Cool.
On zero wastegate duty. I agree. Anything you can think of? I mean, other than the fact that this piece of shit Turbosmart gate?
What? What's wrong with it?
30 pounds of boost?
Yeah, I mean, I just saw that. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Hello, honey. What's wrong? Uh-oh. Oh, really? What'd you have for breakfast? So, Big Bear? No, that's too soon for that, I think. Well, that sucks.
Everything's hooked up, right?
Right. Well, I can't do anything for you from here. I know. Just drink tons of water if you can. And so that didn't help. Well, we have stuff to minimize barfing if you barf too much, but clearly you want to get whatever's in there out if something's affecting you. That sounds terrible. That sounds terrible, honey. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was dinner because we ate the same thing. Heck, I ate out of your plate, out of your bowl and everything. I'd be surprised by that. And I cooked that stuff really good. It was all well cooked. It was like 20 minutes at 400 degrees, so. Yeah. You sure there isn't something else? Maybe it's a cookie. How close are you to home? Oh. You gonna pull over and barf? No, keep your window down. Alright, I gotta go. We're having car problems, and I will finish up as soon as I can and come home. Alright, I love you, honey. Bye. What happened? No, it wasn't really 20. I just said that. It was an air fryer, and I spent 12 minutes at 375, and then I applied some hot sauce to it, and then I put it in for another 3 minutes. It was 13 minutes at 375, and then I did 3 minutes at 400 at the very end. But they were cooked. They weren't dry by any fucking means. So they were quite delicious, actually. I hate dried chicken, and it was far from dry, but it was thoroughly cooked. And then her tortilla soup that I reheated, she made a couple days ago. I put it on the stove. I added a little bit of water to it initially, brought it to a boil, and held it at a boil for a while with the lid off to try and reduce it down and get some of the water out of there. But I was trying to get a good even heating on it, and I added a little hot sauce to that too, so it was plenty cooked. It definitely wasn't that. And not just that, but she had like 4 bites of the soup, and I ate the entire fucking pot. And then she had 2 wings, and I had 8. So I don't think it was that. All right, you sent me some stuff on the carnivore diet. I'll check it out. Everyone's always got some fucking diet thing, you know, they recommend and whatever. I had this discussion with a guy on a plane once, and he was saying how humans were made to be vegetarians and stuff, and I thought, oh, that's weird. I really thought that our digestive tract was set up like omnivores, because there isn't a single truly herbivore that we know of that has a digestive tract like ours. Ours is set up for both. And we started talking about that on the plane, and he was like, huh, I never thought about it that way. And we started going back and forth for a while. It was pretty good. Yeah, keto's all right. It's a little hard to figure out. Keto's all right. It's a little hard on the liver, though, if you have a liver problem like I do. So I can't do too much of that stuff. That's surprising, really. I don't know where they get their cholesterol from. Oh yeah, we actually do the intermittent fasting quite a bit, and it's Teresa's daily routine, and it's my almost everyday routine. But we do the 16/8 as well. Shut up.
I know how to fix it. This car.
I just hope it's not blowing up already. It only knocked once during the pull. The boost hit 25.6, and then the cut came in. So he found the problem. But yeah, everyone's got their thing. So whatever. I like to eat food that tastes good. I like to watch what I eat to some degree. I stay away from processed stuff. You know, when possible, I'll try to eat really. I don't eat any of the artificial crap. None of those sweeteners and none of that shit goes in my body. I don't even use artificial soap. None of that shit. I'll still die of cancer, like, you know, radiation exposure as a nuclear electrician on a submarine, and laying in the reactor compartment on top of a source, trying to work on fucking bilge probes and shit, watching my exposure go through the roof. I'm sure I had plenty of exposure. My little balls got crispified, I'm sure. So. I heard bolts hit the ground just now. Anyways. Well, let's see how much power it made at 25 pounds of boost by 3,000 RPM. I mean, I guess that's something to mention. Oh no, it's 4,000 RPM. So at 4 grand, it hit 25 pounds. That's a little laggier than the stock turbo. It had 10 pounds by 35. So definitely laggier than the stock turbo. Now, granted, yes, Mr. Justin, please do. That'll do it. 12 and a half. Oh no, 10 by 35 is what it is. So 10 by 35. I mean, that's not great, but it's not bad. You know, what's cam?
You know, pull up here is badass. Look at it.
This one here?
Yeah.
It's all right.
Probably the best kit I've ever seen. I'm serious. Come look.
Which kit?
Either pull it.
On this one?
Yes.
Yeah, I looked at it.
It's nice.
It's all right. Yeah.
It's great. It's got all the brackets, the bar.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's great.
It's got good features. I looked at it.
Also available. Best kit.
I'm not like, wow, oh my god. I mean, the Cobb kit's really good too. The Cobb kit's really good for these cars, at least. The Cobb one works really well. Let's see. Yeah, cams are fully advanced, so it looks like it's definitely laggier than the stock turbo. But that's a factor of the Mamba housing as well. And so by 4,000 RPM, we're making 225 wheel, which is kind of surprising because of how. Where is torque? Let's see how much torque it was making. All right. Well, it definitely looks like a bigger turbo. Now, granted, like I said, unfortunately, this thing has a front mount, which I didn't want, and external wastegate, which I didn't like, and big wheels and tires. So I wish I didn't have those things. But let's see here. Zooming well. So torque got to 295. And horsepower got to 225. Oh, look at that, the weather correction's fucked up. I never fixed that. I forgot, the computer crashed. So that's actually 10% low, it says there, 90%. Oh well. So, it's 10% off, so that works too. The weather station is broken on the dyno, so I have to go and input the values for what it is today. Otherwise, it puts in some, it automatically says we're at sea level and says that it's, you know, STP and all that shit. Alright, let's fix that. That won't change that reading at all. What was I saying? Oh yeah, clearly it's laggier. I mean, that's a given. It's definitely laggier than the stock. Front mount's gonna do that. Stock turbo on a front mount is laggier. Tons of people go, it's not laggier. Bull fucking shit. It is absolutely laggier on a front mount. It is absolutely laggier. People say, oh, I did 20 feet of hose or whatever, and it didn't change the boost thresholds. Yeah, on your dyno. Different dynos work differently. You know, if it's a fixed weight dyno, then when you're accelerating these heavy ass rollers and you give it a throttle and there's no boost there, it makes less torque, and therefore you spend more time at that lower RPM. So then the turbo has time to spool up. So on a dyno with a fixed roller weight, you're not going to see the difference in spool from an intercooler and things like that as you would on an actual road or a dyno that's strictly a load cell, things like that. So even the load cell dynos aren't that great for that because they're based on a ramp rate, and so it's going to ramp the engine up at a certain speed, and speed is fixed. And if you make less power, then I guess it would work. It would be better on this dyno. Actually, I said that wrong, didn't I? That means that it would control that rate, and then the boost, you had the same amount of time, so the turbo wouldn't in fact be laggier with a change in piping and that kind of stuff, which is why we see it on this dyno. That makes sense. So, but a fixed rate dyno, or a fixed weight dyno, not a fixed rate dyno like this one, is where the difference is going to be. So it definitely makes a difference. Anyone who says it doesn't is a fool. So I have a front mount slowing the turbo down. I have the turbine housing slowing the turbo down. But I think that what we're going to see is this thing opens up quite a bit on the top end. I think we're going to see some really good results. He's doing a lot of fucking wrenching over there for moving a hose. Yay. Well, any chats going on? We're waiting for them to fix the car. Anything else I could say? I got verticooler for my 13R put on, but yeah, that's good. Verticooler is a good intercooler. I like it because it has a lot of the size like a bigger front mount does. It's got a decent amount of airflow, not as much as the front mount, but it's got decent airflow. And it's got reduced volume by not being a front mount, so that's pretty cool. I'm really excited to get my air water finished, but you know, it's I got tons of things in the works right now with the air water, the dry sump, the ALS, all that stuff going on. So
Yeah, Tanner had the boost controller to the top of the gate.
that'll do it.
So
That'll do it.
it was only a super pain in the ass to switch.
I heard you had to take a lot of bolts off to get there.
Yeah. I knew you were on the YouTube, so I was trying to keep it PG-13.
Less swearing.
Lots of customers here, so, you know.
This one, the one that owns this car?
What?
This customer? I was asking, you said a customer's here. This. Oh, okay. I know what you meant. Hey, Zach. Right now I'm just reconnecting to the ECU. You see that? Okay. I reset it to get rid of the code for the overboost. I'm just reconnecting. Wastegate cycle. I'm hoping stayed 0. When you reset though, that shit goes away. So I'll have to fix whatever it is I changed, which is just those two things. So I already did them before I reconnected. I reconnected, disconnected, or disconnected and reconnected again just to make sure that it had stayed. That's my boost target. It's not accurate now because this is for stock turbo, so I definitely need to bring this down and bring this up for this turbo, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to try and hold 17 to 18 psi at redline. That's going to be my goal. We know now that it'll make full boost around 4,000, so I'm going to put it right at 19.6. I'm just going to do a smooth taper right now for the boost request or the boost target, just to until we get an idea of how well it's going to respond. Below that, I'm going to reduce the target boost because I don't want to deal with a bunch of integral windup. That's a common problem that people tune these things goofily and they deal with a lot of integral windup. There are lots of things you can do to combat that windup. The easiest one is to not have a stupidly high boost target in the low RPM areas. And then I'm going to blend this to a lower value here, like so. And that's gonna be where we start for our boost target. Like that. That is our target start. Now, again, we see duty cycles at 0, so it should stop. It should stop well before that target is hit. All right, let's try this again. Okay, set the dyno runners back up again. AFR and boost. Nope. .22. But it waved. So I think either the line broke or blew off or something pinched or something. But it ain't right. I'm at 0% duty cycle and 22 pounds of boost. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the wave is probably the traction control, but the 22 PSI is definitely the gate. Whether the spring pressure's wrong or the hose is blown off, I don't know. No knock though, so that's good, right? All the behind the scenes stuff that people don't see, you know, with all this projects and shit when you're testing, things go wrong all the time.
Everything's good, hit it again. Maybe the gate just was sticky or something.
Is the vent side of the gate the atmosphere, or is there a hose on, or what's the vent side look like?
It's atmosphere.
Okay. So it's got 20 pounds of spring pressure in it. I mean, I haven't heard the lift yet. See you, bud. I'm in. Fun!
Same thing?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't get as high because I was modulating with my foot, but it looks like it's got 20 pounds of spring pressure. Maybe 21 pound spring in it or something. That's what it looks like.
Well, I put the springs that I was instructed by Chase because he was looking up charts, and I had a feeling that that was probably going to be a bad thing.
Yeah, well, it's too high. Okay, so you got what, a bracket holding the factory gate on there right now?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right, let's see. What else can I do?
I have a TiAL on the shelf.
I hate Turbosmarts. They're just absolute trash. Fucking trash. Fucking trash.
He's got a supercomputer.
I'm going to flash a higher boost limit. Now that I know it's not doing 25, I'm going to flash a higher boost limit so we can finish the pull and see what the pressure actually is. I'm going to set it at 22 because it was set at 19. So I'll set it at 22 and we'll see if it's just 20 pounds or what, since I'm letting out of it. Boost came in earlier that pull though.
Yeah, it did. I mean, if that's what it's supposed to look like, it's going to be saucy.
Comms interface lost connection. Well, that ain't good. Oh, my Wi-Fi's on. Let me turn my Wi-Fi off. There we go. Let me hit retry. Did anyone get the cable? Cable look alright? No, no comms. It's that's the O2 sensor. It's the other one. The gray one. No, the other gray one. See that big cable right there? No, next to it. That one there. That's the comms cable for the dyno. It's the DB9 into it right there. Okay, it looks connected. I'm gonna leave the program, come back into it. Boy, it's just fucking, everything's falling apart around our ears here. Unplug that USB on the left. Yeah. And plug it back in. There it goes. Back. Alright, flash is done. Dyno communications back up again. Okay, it's cold. I know sometimes these videos can be boring like this, but sometimes I don't like the well-produced videos, honestly. You lose a lot of the personal nature, you lose a lot of the stuff that happens behind the scenes, how issues happen, and just lots of little stuff. It's just, it's left out. It definitely doesn't feel that it's personal to have a video that's produced. Obviously, they're nicer to watch, in the end. What'd Connor say? let's try it again. Well, that's fucking terrible. No other way of saying that. That's terrible.
Well, that sucks.
Sucks a lot.
There's nothing I can do in here either.
Yeah,
Let's go put it on the left.
They're just plain out blows donkey balls.
It's easy once it's on the left.
Well, we definitely reached a flow rate of something. Flow limit of something. Look at this mass airflow. It hits 300. It's 300 at 4,600 RPM and stays flat at 300. A few oscillations today in the 90s and 308, but overall it's pretty much flat mass airflow all the way to redline.
Mm-hmm.
So horsepower is going to be flat at 300 and ugly from 5,000 to redline. How much of that's the turbo, how much of that's the shit fuck wastegate, I don't know the answer to that. But that looks like a flow limitation somewhere. It looks like choke flow or something.
Well, the wastegate's opening.
Yeah, I heard the wastegate open. I'm gonna do another one. Look at that filter cover bullshit that she has on there. See if that's sucking against it.
Well, we got another mass airflow sensor because yours was kind of shit, you know, kind of sketchy, so...
The sensor's working, but there's just a limitation somewhere. So look at that thing and tell me if it's...
Honestly, we never took the filter off the housing. It could be fucking just dirty as shit.
I mean, it didn't look that dirty.
I can't see.
Right, well, I don't mean the sensor, I mean the filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we just looked at the sensor from the back of it. We never took the filter off, so I don't know how bad the filter is.
Sure. Alright, so what did it do? It did 22 pounds of boost at 46, and then it fell to 15 by redline. With 0% wastegate duty cycle. That's not impressive. No, it's not a 300 flat. And it's a 19 STI. It doesn't have a MAF like that. And it's bouncing around from 295 to 300. And with as much as the boost is falling, it's an actual airflow limit. I mean, 22 to 15. Yeah, she's got one of those filter surround thingies on it. So I'm having a look at it while I do a pull, see if it's going to do it. The windows work. I can't roll that window down. Weird.
down tight on it, but I mean, I don't know.
Pull down tight.
Yeah. I can't. It went on it. So.
Let's try without it. That window doesn't work on the driver's side. What the hell? Same shit. Oh, it picked up a little bit though. It did pick up a little bit. It's still falling hardcore, but it went up about 10 grams per second of airflow. Picked up 10 grams, but that's it. You see the power jumped up.
Yeah.
But the boost still falls. I mean, it's half a pound within where it was. It's spooled faster.
Is the boost staying?
Look at the boost.
Where's the boost at? Green?
The top line.
That one?
All those are boost. It's fucked.
Well, we're not limiting on the turbo, on the turbine housing. We're not limiting on the intake because that's a better flowing wheel. Everything is better. It's in stock housing, so it shouldn't be any worse than a factory one at minimum.
I know, and it is.
It is. So we have something else going on.
Yes.
I think that gate is being sticky, and or it's one of those things where it has like a breakaway pressure, and then it's just, you know, staying open when it shouldn't.
So it's a piece of shit Turbosmart gate, you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna add, because we got supposedly 50-pound springs in there. So I'm gonna add duty cycle over 5,500 RPM.
Okay.
And see if the boost goes up.
Works for me.
If the boost goes up, then I know that it's just a shit fuck wastegate like we thought so from in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because that's fucked. That's just absolutely fucked.
Yeah, because there's no reason it should be performing worse than a stock one.
No, that's just absolute trash. All right. That's why you don't run Turbosmart wastegates, kids. They fucking suck. They're so bad. Alright, so man, duty cycle to the very top end only to see if that will close the gate and raise the boost. So let me know if this drop is because the wastegate is doing an absolute shit job controlling boost, which it probably is. And I'm hoping that's it and not the turbo. Because I had higher hopes for the turbo than this, that's for sure. I hate the sound external wastegates make when they're on short tubes. Gross. Well, it's rich as fuck, and the timing is very conservative, but it still pops a knock event every now and then. Which is crazy because this is a 19 STI, so it's got the lower compression engine. I mean, I've only got at redline there's only, or at 5,000 there's only about 12 degrees on it, and or less. Yeah.
Well, that explains it.
It didn't do any better, did it?
Nope. It spooled about 1,000 RPM earlier.
Yeah, but that wasn't me. That was nothing I did. Because I didn't do anything for duty cycle down there. I didn't add any duty cycle down low.
So the wastegate's inconsistent.
It's a Turbosmart. Yeah. In fact, the boost was less up top with the addition of duty cycle. I mean, I've got it crazy rich. I mean, it's running between 10 and 11 to 1. But it should pick up boost on top.
Yeah.
I mean, I only added...
No, Chase is talking her to put the TiAL on it right now.
I only put 15% duty cycle on it, so sometimes it's not enough to make a wastegate do anything. I
Put a fuck whack on it and see what happens.
I wanted to be slow with it because I didn't want to blow up this non-forged motor.
That's true. I mean, we're only at 18 pounds.
Well, we're at 22. 22 and a half.
Oh.
Yeah, the right side. That's AFR on the left.
I hate when I do that.
That's all good. So
You look at it in here and then you go look out on the screen and you're like, oh, that's different.
Let's see. Alright, so I give it some authority to add some boost at a lower RPM. Not lower RPM. Still over 4,000 or over 5,000.
Okay, I'm cold as shit.
Alright. I'm gonna pull some fuel.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated...
Bloop. Okay. This video is going to turn into a TiAL versus Turbosmart wastegate test. Well, this will be the Turbosmart, how bad it is, and the other one will be how much it changes when you put a TiAL on it. 30% duty, there's no change in boost. Okay, 40%. Fucking god damn it, 35%. How much the MAF calibration changed by taking that surround off of it. It went way richer with that suction inhibitor off of it. No change in boost up top. Not even a quarter of a pound. Not even like the thought, the concern. Nothing. I mean, at some point, right? We just got to go up some, right? Oh my goodness. This is funny. All right, let's go to 50%. You know, I could have sworn her email she said TiAL wastegate. I'll have to check that again. Gets to 50, gets to 45%, and still no change. So, yeah. So it's not doing anything. Nothing's happening.
So, further investigation. Turns out the place that sold it to her.
Yeah. Told her it was a TiAL, right?
Told her it was a TiAL.
Yeah,
That's
because
why
her
she told
mods
us it
list.
was a TiAL. The mods list I had said TiAL as
yeah,
well.
Yeah.
So someone through that company I don't want to say, that's really popular in Seattle that sells a lot of parts.
Yeah, well, I told him earlier that all
parts.
she does is, that all they do is push parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they pushed the wrong part probably because that was in stock.
Yep, that's what people do.
But they charged her still for a TiAL.
Did they?
Which sucks because the TiAL's way more expensive than Turbosmart. So
Oh, yeah.
thankfully we have a TiAL back here though, so I told her, I was like, well, the good news is we have one. Bad news is that we
Is
have
it-
to
is it
come out and
mine?
change it. No, we have your silver and we have a red on the shelf.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she got on the phone and she's like, yeah, that fucking part that Zach sold me, yeah, well, we need to fucking call Brian because it's not a fucking TiAL. And was like this, and I was like, whoa.
Good for her. All right, let me set these back to 0. This just isn't gonna happen. Isn't gonna fucking happen. Let me show you the dynographs. So you see what we're dealing with. Obviously staring at my ugly ass face, the best video content. Okay. All right, so down here, this is boost coming in earlier and earlier and earlier. Typically that's heat, the turbo breaking in or something, but usually it's just heat because I did pulls back to back, and so the header gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and then you get serious spool. No duty cycle changes were done down here, but that's significant. I mean, you look here at this pull, I had 7 pounds at 2800. At this pull, I have 18 pounds at 2800. I just don't think that Turbosmart's doing its fucking job. I mean, what? So yeah, that's great. And then up here, this is 0%, but it's also 50% duty cycle. So yeah, that's totally hammered. That sucks. Yeah, we've already fixed the stuff. It's Turbosmart. Come on. I've never had Turbosmart not do this, honestly. Usually they add a little more up top than what's currently happening, but yeah, it's just shit. Typical Turbosmart shit. Yeah, and also you hear the gates open, right? It's screaming. You would think that as I put 50% on it, it would pick up, be a little quieter, or pick up, or something would change, but it's not. So we're gonna pull it off and stick a TiAL on it. And I think we're gonna see just what a improvement that is. I think I saw another donation on the list here. I didn't see it come through in the chat, but I'm seeing something at the top. Oh, Connor. Thanks, Connor. I appreciate it. Sorry I missed your thing there. You guys are funny. Yeah, they sent her the wrong fucking gate. They told her it was TiAL. That's why I said earlier in the stream that her mods list said TiAL, and I was pretty sure of it. Yeah, it did. So that's a bummer. It's a bummer for her and me, because I don't have time to do this shit today. I got a 232. It's 2. And then I got shit going on tomorrow, so we gotta try and make this up fast. Hopefully they can get it done quick. Yeah, so I don't know what else to do right now until this gets fixed. So the turbo testing is still in progress, I have to say. And so far, it's not looking good, but it's hard to say, you know, how good a turbo is when your boost control system doesn't work correctly. We know that it likes to go really high and down low, so that's good. But it doesn't like to carry anything up top, which is not good. So we'll see if that's wastegate turbo here in the near future. Hopefully it happens today. Hope for her sake it happens today, because she lives on the west coast, the west side, I mean, of the state. And so she's got a drive on her hands to get home and everything. So hopefully they're able to bang out the wastegate swap. And my other tune that happens in the next 30 minutes, hopefully that goes really quick. If it goes quick enough, then I'll be able to get hers back on the dyno this afternoon and we'll get that finished up. But we'll see. We'll see how this all takes. Until then, what can I show you? I want to show you something. Somebody asked me if that was better or worse than precision. I think the precisions might be better, honestly. I think they might be better, but I haven't done enough of the precisions to get a large enough sample set to pass judgment on them. Yeah, I don't know, only a couple of them. I don't see one. Where? Somebody asked who's Sexy Forester. I don't see it. Where's my turbo set? Oh, there we go. There's mine. That's what I'm looking for. That's the G25-550. That's supposed to be from our RS. I thought it'd be done by now, but it's not. There's a couple Doritos. Dorito. It's an interesting up-pipe design, right, that we did. I tried to put the turbo in a location that I thought would be a shorter up-pipe, and it turned out to not be. It turned out to be the exact same freaking length as most rotated kit up-pipes. Oh, well, most normally rotated. Like, ETS has got a really long one. It's way shorter than ETS one. But the cool thing about it is that because it's lower, we put it really low in the engine bay, the downpipe has less bends off of it to get out of the car. As you can see, it just be like that. So it's got less angle. It doesn't have hard 90s or anything. It's got a smoother thing. So I'm hoping that a straighter flow path through the turbo and then out the turbo will improve power on the top end. And hopefully maybe a little bit of spool too. It's hard to say. So we'll see about that. Travis said I have a G25-1050 waiting to go on a car. Did it on Skyline and it impressed me. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I've yet to do a 1050 or the 900. We have a 1050 for Igor's car that we're going to be doing here pretty soon. Nigel says he wonders if the internal gate actuators are also garbage. Just grab the new Gen 2 for the EFR. Short answer, yes. Yeah, actually, I'm going to be completely honest with you. The internal gate on all the EFRs, regardless of whether it's OEM or Turbosmart, is fucking ass. It's so bad. It's basically like this kind of action. Something about that they have a crack pressure, and they're not supposed to have a crack pressure that's significantly above the boost pressure target, but they do for some reason. And yeah, I don't even tune EFRs, they have internal gates anymore. I'm like, no, don't even fucking bother. don't bother. Don't bring it. You're not gonna be happy with it. They're just like Turbosmart in that you might be able to get them set up for one boost pressure, but you're having absolute horrendous control at partial throttle and that kind of stuff. It's just terrible. Yeah, I don't like it at all. Just nothing beats a TiAL, plain and simple. When it comes to boost control, nothing beats a TiAL. Although I hear the electronic gates are pretty good. I heard that the Turbosmart electronic gate is actually pretty good. So I'm going to try the Turbosmart electric gate at some point with the M-Tron. But otherwise, it's TiAL all day long. Nothing beats a fucking TiAL. They're the best boost controller anywhere, period. So Travis said the 1050 had super nice spool and a lot of power. That's surprising. A lot of you guys are complaining that the 1050 was too laggy. But I also assume a lot of those guys use too big of a turbine housing.
My 1050 is minty.
Yeah, your 1050? Oh, you're on a Skyline too.
Yeah.
What, when is your spool at?
Probably around 4.
Around 4-ish?
Yeah.
35, 1050?
4,000 RPM on party mode.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
it's nice because like that's when it hits peak, when it starts cooling earlier.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, yours is only a 2.5 liter, right?
Huh?
You're a 2.5, right? RB25?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
Does
small-
that FOS
Small drop in cans of ethanol. That's it.
dirty act like doesn't exist? Must be an auto. Oh. Well, no, you said sexy Forester. There is a Forester here. I was just looking for a sexy one that I didn't see. All right, I'm gonna violate my diet. I'm gonna eat part of this donut right here. It's got sprinkles on it. I want sprinkles on the donut. All right, good already. All right. Yeah, that was terrible. Don't do that. What are you doing, Nick?
Setting the preload on the reverse gear.
Reverse gear? 5-speed or 6-speed?
6 speed.
Okay.
The 5+1 speed.
Oh, the 5+1 MT?
Yeah, it has that fucking little tensioner gear on the reverse. Keep from
Yeah, chattering and shit.
chattering and being noisy and shit.
Uh-huh.
I'm just getting that little guy set.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Get ready to put it back together.
It's crazy that they added that to these, honestly. That's something that intrigued me, is how much they changed the reverse on this transmission versus the previous 5 speeds.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The fuck?
Yeah, did you see what bushing fell off on this?
Oh yeah, that'll do it. That'll make them shift really shitty.
Mm-hmm.
It kicks the selector crooked, boop, and then doesn't engage the synchro straight. And these synchros have such small, tight tolerances that if you don't engage them and push on them straight and even, it'll click into the gate and not have any synchro action, and it'll grind like crazy. And that one's pretty fucked too.
Weird wear in the bushing.
Yeah, someone needs to slow their shifting down.
Mm-hmm.
Shift a little easier there, home slice. And which car is this? That red
the
Rex
red one
outside?
out there, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
He was at another shop and they told him that he needed a whole new transmission and it was going to be 10 grand. And I was like, well, you should bring the car here first. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
Then we drained the fluid and it came out clean. So I was like, I don't think you need a new transmission.
Is that an improved pad or is it the same design? Looks the same design.
I think they're the same.
Okay. Yeah, I know on the old 5 speed they improved the pad design. I'm still surprised they use plastic. Why didn't they throw some bronze in there or something?
I'm not sure.
So this gal called the guy that sold her the wrong wastegate.
Uh-huh.
And she calls him and she's like, hey man, I fucking paid for a tile. You told me you're sending me a tile and there's a fucking Turbosmart here. What the fuck? And he goes, well, it should work the same. And I was like, well, it doesn't. And he was like, I don't know. I called Brian and he just gave it to me and he said that I don't know, he fucked it up so that she gets a hold of Brian. And she said, what the fuck? And he goes, oh, sorry, you've had that part for so long. I don't think there's anything we can do. If it's failing, it might be under warranty, so you could reach out to them. And I'm like, everyone's just like tiptoeing over the fact that you paid for a part, were sold a part, and got the wrong fucking part.
Yeah.
Like, I told her I'll give her the tile at cost because I feel like she's already been like ran through the ringer through this other parts place. But definitely feel bad. Like, she's a super nice gal and she's trying to learn, and people are
Yeah. Well,
taking
part
advantage
slingers,
of that.
man. The part slingers.
they're literally the worst.
Yeah.
That's what I told her. I said the problem is that like that should because they were trying to point fingers at whose fault it was for ordering it. And I was like, if we're gonna be technical, no one should have ordered this. Everyone at that company should have known that this is a shit part. No one who's reputable sells it. No one who tunes wants to tune with these things. Like, it is a garbage part, and it should have been caught before the order was ever placed. But they're just part slingers, so they don't care. They just want the money, so they sell a part.
Well, that's how they make their money, is selling parts.
Yeah.
They work out of their house and they freaking run a part shop on turn 14 or whatever, selling whatever gets them margin to people. That's all there is. I mean, as a shop like this shop does not run on part sales at all. parts, there's no money in parts. There's no money in selling somebody else's parts. I should correct that. There's no money in selling somebody else's parts because the margin by the end of the day is less than 10%. And it's like these places don't make money selling parts. You make money selling labor and selling, you know, services, but you don't make money on parts. So when you go to a place like this that says, no, you should run that part, it isn't because we're getting money for that. We're not making shit on it, right? We're going, you want this part because one, less labor, you save money in labor. She's doing 2 wastegates now, right? So you save money in labor, you save money in support, you save money in reliability. The tuner's happy, it spends less time on the dyno, you save money there. Like, you save money, and we don't get shit for it, you know? Like, it's you don't get jack for selling parts.
We were talking about how many Grimspeed intakes and how many Ishimoto intakes and EM intakes and all the intakes we just throw away because, like, you know,
Yeah.
they're used parts that we don't want to see back on cars because they're garbage. They do
Yeah.
nothing but cause harm and cause issues.
Yep.
And our goal is to get your car on the road and be here as less as possible.
All right,
So
now
we can
fucking
fix it.
sales pitch for yourself there.
It's not a sales
Christ,
pitch.
it is.
I'm just saying, like, I wish people would trust people when we're trying to recommend good parts.
Right. Well, yeah, I get places all the time. Guys like, well, this other guy's saying this. Well, this other guy's trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what I'm saying. That's the parts that drive me nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. Is this the toilet thing? I mean, they got halfway there. They bought the part. Haven't installed it yet. So, anyways, I'm gonna go. I got a Mustang showing up here in a few minutes. I have to adjust this idle. It's just a mega sport car. Somebody else tuned it, and I'm supposed to adjust the idle for it. Now, whether that means it's gonna be easier or not, I have no idea. I have no idea if it's the whole tune is just completely obliterated, or if the idle control is just not done quite right. So I don't know. The unfortunate thing about Mega Squirt is it lacks control. It lacks a lot of the stuff that other ECUs have, like almost all other ECUs when it comes to idle control. So I don't know what version he has. I don't know what features it has. I don't know if it's one that has the timing control and it has an IAC, or if it's just going to be, you know, IAC, or if it's just going to be timing, or if it doesn't have either of those and it's based on just closed throttle, or what. I'll find out when he gets here. If it's one of the more modern ones that has idle control, or idle error, ignition compensation, zero load, or idle ignition timing, and an IACV, then I should be able to bang it out in like a half hour, hopefully. So that'll give me more time to work on that. So we're gonna take out the dyno now and try and fix it, and then hopefully after that find out that the turbo actually does perform, because right now it's looking like it does not perform. But again, I hear that gate opening. It's not changing pitch. It's not shutting at all. I don't think it's trying to raise boosts or anything. So we'll see. Anyways, thanks guys. Watch your emails. You know, watch for notifications, and for the second half of this experience. But thanks. Have a good day.